You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, where we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns and, well, what looks like a potentially chaotic situation all of a sudden. Because they have decided to fire their offensive coordinator and their tight ends coach and their running back coach, and it's got a lot of people in Cleveland scratching their heads, especially when you consider Alex Van Pelt was involved in how many playoff runs for the Browns after no playoff runs? Question mark? Just wondering, not trying to be a smartass here, but you combine that with a career year from David Njoku, and you've got to wonder, you got Nick Chubb out, you got a million quarterbacks, and somehow, some way you orchestrate that team along with Kevin Stefanski, and I understand he's heavily involved in the offense, but it just seems like chaos for the sake of chaos, and it doesn't make any sense unless you are trying to satisfy what is, some people are starting to wonder, is Deshaun Watson one of the all-time great coach killers? And the fact is, anytime you make a move like this and you sit back and go, Alex Van Pelt's going to move to the head of the line with offensive coordinator jobs. All right? There's a world I talked about yesterday in a video where the Steelers could bring in Van Pelt and Baker Mayfield in the offseason, and there you go. I mean, right there. If Dave Canales was to end up taking that Carolina Panthers job that he interviewed yesterday for, of course, he's the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. Alex Van Pelt to Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield comes back. He coached Baker. There's a line to draw and connect the dots there. Hell, they could bring in the whole offensive coaching staff that just got fired, and it's got people scratching their heads in Cleveland. Now, keep in mind, this is about how much confidence Browns fans have in Deshaun Watson. This is Cleveland.com. So where do you stand on Watson and the hopes going into 2024? Are you confident in him getting the Browns back to the playoffs? We've got I'll wait and see, 21%, and we got I don't have much confidence, 41%. Overwhelmingly, 41%. So if you combine those two, I mean, let's be honest. I'll wait and see. That's not confident at all. All right? That's basically another vote of no confidence. And I don't have much confidence. So basically 62% of the fan base is like, we don't even know if we can get to the playoffs with Deshaun Watson. They're talking about getting rid of Joe Flacco, and they want to get rid of Joe Flacco. Let's be real. You want to know why Joe Flacco, they're going to get rid of him? Never mind the $230 million fully guaranteed they gave Deshaun Watson. They're getting rid of Joe Flacco because they're scared Joe Flacco's going to take that job. And the fan base who just witnessed Joe Flacco play better than Deshaun Watson ever did with the Cleveland Browns, regardless of what happened in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. Without Joe Flacco, you're probably not getting there. And Alex Van Pelt got a P.J. Walker and got Joe Flacco, Dorian Thompson Robinson, that three-headed situation at quarterback, and helped get them to the playoffs. And he lost his job over it. And you can't help but wonder, and Jake Trotter of ESPN, or he used to be with ESPN, he still is. He tweeted this out, that he talked to Alex Van Pelt, and of course Stump Mitchell's gone. He's very popular. T.C. McCartney, he's gone. Again, Njoku had a huge year. So, here we go. Browns fans are scratching their heads right now. The Browns fired the only coach to win them playoff games in the past 20 years. Laughing my ass off. I mean, honestly, can we fire the front office? This team is going to be in shambles for the next 10 years because of that Watson contract. The only thing that can justify it is winning a Super Bowl. Absolutely. And I'll give a lot of fans credit. They realize Alex Van Pelt's going to be hired by somebody else very quickly. First, Bill O'Brien, then David Culley, now Alex Van Pelt. Deshaun Watson is starting to look like one of the biggest coach killers of all time. I'm assuming if Joe Flacco didn't save the Browns season, Kevin Stefanski would have been the latest coach Watson would have gotten fired. You can guarantee it. I think he would have been gone. Anytime you see something that's all-encompassing, like the entire offensive staff just got fired, this came from Jimmy Haslam. That's my feeling anyway. They have one legit wide receiver, a solid tight end, an average ex-superstar at quarterback, and when he went down, they got Flacco to look like a stud, all without their top running back, and they still ended up above average. Pittsburgh should take a look at Alex Van Pelt. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy. I know people were pissed. Baker said what he said when he left. However, a discussion needs to be had about Stefanski and how he handles situations like this because, quote, smile in my face, get rid of me behind my back, starting to not be a good look optics-wise. Radio silence from the Browns. Are they still pressuring Stefanski, trying to get him to say, quote, this was all my idea and wasn't forced on him by Haslam? I mean, you got to wonder. Career year for Njoku, they fired his position coach. Chubb out for the year, fired the position coach. Only in Cleveland. Browns doing Browns things. The offense overproduced. Absolutely. The offense overproduced with quarterbacks. It had, so let's fire the offensive staff, even though the defense was dead, last on the row when it stacked with talent top to bottom. I mean, I saw this when I saw Alex Van Pelt was let go, and part of me wonders if he just was like, to hell with it, get me out of here. You know, I saw that and thought, so how many teams are going to take a look at him? Anytime you fire a guy like that and you realize that he's going to move to the head of the line for so many teams, you got to ask yourself, well, why is he going to move to the head of the line? Because he's a hell of a good coach. That's why. I mean, honestly, that's crazy. That side of the ball is the only side of the ball you can say actually got coached up. The defense shit the bed at the end of the year in that playoff game. And I thought that was supposed to be an all-world defense. I mean, even I thought that defense was really good. And it got blasted by a rookie quarterback with your draft pick. Yikes. That's even worse. I'm sorry, but Alex Van Pelt just got scapegoated, and he just got fired because I lay you odds Deshaun Watson did not want him anymore. This Watson situation, and I'm saying it right now, Joe Flacco helped this team to a magical run at the end of the year. But Deshaun Watson, there's a very good chance he and his contract, Jimmy Haslam did this, puts this franchise in purgatory for the next 10 years. There's a world where this turns into, I mean, one of the worst situations we've ever seen, and it may already be. I would be shocked if Kevin Stefanski survives next year because I don't think Watson can play. All right? I don't. He's played. Everybody celebrated some game he had this year, and I went and looked at the stats and started looking at, and I was like, he was okay to pretty good in that game, and then he's had another pretty good quarter or maybe half, a game and a half out of 12. They were winning games, and he wasn't responsible for the wins. The Browns situation could end up being a nightmare next year. It could. Tell me what you think. This is what Jimmy Haslam wanted. Let's get rid of Baker. He can't play. Baker's getting ready for the Lions in the divisional playoffs right now. Unbelievable. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.